doing well. Welcome back to a little agency therapy. We're jamming today. The messaging that we're seeing on social media nowadays, it's all very lead generation focused. Do you feel like we're going to see kind of the shift or swing back the other direction?
No.
Free resources, lead magnets. The list is endless. Oh, it did flip. We are back, baby. The last one of the year. Wrapping 2023 with a bang. You guys, welcome back to a little agency therapy. We're stoked that you're here with us today. The final episode of 2023. I hope you guys had a great year. Hope you guys are crushing it. If you're hanging, let me know in the chat where you're at. Where are you in from? What are you doing? Come hang out for a minute. We got a extended episode today. Just like last week, if you guys are unfamiliar with agency therapy or the agency therapy format, if you're new here, welcome. We're so stoked that you're here because we have a lot to cover today, and we'll be here for 2, maybe 3 hours. We'll see the length, we'll see the engagement that happens throughout the stream today. But one, very grateful for the last year and everyone that's kind of attended the live stream. I mean, there have been moments where we've had a booming live stream. We've had moments where it's been a little bit quieter. Totally fine. We're here for the journey. We're here for the process. And I'm excited to have the opportunity to do this on a weekly basis and continue to serve you guys. So thank you for everyone in attendance, people that come in, listen, watch every single week. It is appreciated. It is not something that I don't take it for granted that you guys take time out of your day to come and hang out with me. I have a lot of fun with this. This is just how I enjoy doing content. I like things to be conversational. I like there to be a live audience in front of me. And for me, this is a really cool opportunity to be able to do and actually have some sort of audience engaged. I don't care if there was 0 people here, I would probably still do it anyway. Or if there's just 1 person here, I'd still do it anyway. So grateful for those of you guys that come here, hang out every week and enjoy the journey with me. It's only going to grow. We're only going to continue to put out the best agency content possible for you guys. So hopefully you enjoyed it so far. But let me know that you're here in the chat. Would love to know who's hanging today. Welcome in. Stoked to have you here. We've got an action-packed stream for you guys today. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've got some new stuff in the works. If you guys have been to agency therapy before and you're coming back, we've changed some things. Last week, we made some renditions to how the stream is running. We're doing a little bit longer format stream now, roughly 2.5, 3 hours of content, a little bit more preparation going into these. And I'm excited to work alongside of you guys on this one today. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So let's hop in, guys. We got to get it going. Okay. We're going to start things off in the Miro board as usual. We've got some fun stuff planned for today, and we're kicking things off with a little marketing mayhem, baby. Andrew Deitch in the freaking building. What's up, dude? Good to have you here, brother. Finishing the year strong, dude. We're going to be starting the year strong too. You and me together. It's going to be 10 out of 10. So I'm stoked for that. I hope you're ready to party it up this new year. So ClickUp, baby. So if you guys are here for the ClickUp training, it's going to be at the end of the stream, the very end. It was the hook to get people here, but we're gonna do some fun things in the meantime. So excited for you guys to jump in and hear the new format, some of the cool stuff that we're doing. So let's freaking hop in, you guys. I'm gonna do a little share screen. Let's get it, baby. If you're here, let me know in the chat. Hopefully you guys can see this. Boom. Boom. Okay. You guys, we got some good stuff packed in today. So if you guys are wanting the ClickUp training, is coming towards the end of the stream. If you're here early, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It probably won't happen for the next hour and a half. Because we have some other stuff that we're going to cover first. Yeah, of course, we're going to be doing a little bit of the Marketing Mayhem side. We're going over the best Google trends of 2023. We have the Guru Gauntlet. We're going to put a couple of our favorite gurus through the gauntlet today, watching some of their content, giving some feedback on it. We got Mr. Grayson Lupus today. And we're going to do a little Iman Gadzhi, because why not? Why not review a little of Iman Gadzhi's content? So excited to jump into these today. We'll give some real raw feedback on the Guru Gauntlet today. And then lastly, Agency Alchemy. Guys, the mural board's blank under Agency Alchemy is crazy. We're going to go into ClickUp. We're going to do something a little bit more tactical. I'll show you the inside of how some of the setup works. And then in the description of this video, guys, there is a link to the ClickUp template. So if you're just here for the template, you guys can just grab it right now. It's in the description of the YouTube channel. Go check that out. 100% free for you guys to grab that. And I believe there is a training inside of that as well. So if you're like, hey, Josh, I got to run super early. I would love for you to stay. Don't leave. Okay, please. But if you do have to run a little bit early, there's a training inside of that, show you how to use everything and set everything up. So hopefully that's helpful for you guys if that's what you're here for. I totally get it. Use it and abuse it. That's totally fine. But if you guys want to stay for our entertaining live stream today, then hang around, because we're jumping into Google Trends first, baby. And guys, Google Trends. I wanted to do this last week, but we had a guest on last week, and I didn't want to make him sit through letting the marbles decide. Okay. And if you guys aren't familiar with letting the marbles decide, well, we have two options and two lanes during the Marketing Mayhem segment that we really can focus on. There's the drama section, which is all the losses that happened over the past years inside of Google Trends. And then we have our victory lap. Hey, where were people winning on the Google Trends side? And we have to start in one lane or the other. And really, there's only one way to do this, and that is to let the marbles decide. And what we're going to do is we're going to race some freaking marbles to see which one that we roll with. So give me a second here. We're going to be setting this up, and we're going to race some marbles real quick, because I want to make this fun, and we're just going to freaking do it. Da, 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 da. And I got to remember how to do this. So give me 2 seconds here. We'll get it all set up. I probably should have set this up beforehand. That way it was ready to go. But I think we're good. Da, 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 da. All right, we got 2 racers. Here, I'll let you guys see this. That way you can see the setup of it. Sorry, missed a bit of what you were saying. My headphones were bugging. Oh, I was just saying I was excited for our trip, Andrew. We got a trip coming up pretty soon. I think you're going, right? You're going to be in Europe, right? This next week with the crew. Going to be a lot of fun. All right, I got to share a different screen. Give me 2 seconds. I got to share a different screen. Boom. All right, let's set this up real fast. Let's set this up. All right. If you guys have ever seen this marbles before, literally we pick a track and we're going to race some marbles. We're going to see which one that we start with, but I got to figure out how to do this. Add names. There we go. Okay, drama, victory lap. I already have it set up. Perfect. Finish. Okay, that looks good on that side. And then we have to pick a race. A race at choice. Should we do a random? Sometimes the randoms aren't very good, though. That's what my one concern is the randoms are sometimes not great. There's the dojo that has sometimes on it. Why? What if we just did random? Well, this one looks intense. Shattered Dreams. I think we should do this one. I hope it doesn't take like an hour, though. It shouldn't. These are relatively quick. Relatively quick. All right. Let's race them, baby. Let's race them. Who is going to win? All right. I see our drama marble. I think, where's the other marble at? I don't see it. Do we just start the race? I think that's how it works. Sorry, I'm such a noob when it comes to this stuff. All right. So are we going to start with the losses on the drama side, or are we going to start with the wins? Let's see where it goes. Oh, shoot. There's victory lap. Oh, shoot. All right. This is going to be the most exciting part of the stream. So if you're here for just the marbles, I totally understand it. But hey, we're gonna find out exactly where we start today. And really, this is the only way to do it. This is the only way I'm willing to figure out is in our marketing mayhem segment, do we start on the victory lap side? Do we start with the wins or do we start with the losses? And we have a pretty tight race so far. And I apologize for my shaky camera work here. Not always the best, but we are a little bit neck and neck right now. This is crazy. I've never seen. Okay, I've run some test runs on this before, and I've never seen a race this close. Normally, one is blowing the other one out of the water. So I hope you guys are finding this as exciting as this one is me because I'm having a blast with this right now. All right, we're going in. It looks like we're about not even halfway through yet. We like this, but Victory Lap has the slight edge, so we might be. Did drama just fell, drama just fell off the freaking map? No, that's crazy. That's crazy that just happened. Damn, I didn't even know death was a thing in marbles. Well, I guess victory lap wins it then. Unless they don't finish, and then we have to run it back. All right, so if victory lap dies, we run it back, different map, and we run it back, and we see who the winner is. Will they make the jump? Oh, they made it. All right, last little piece here. Last stint. Let's go. Okay, I think it can still potentially die at the end with these ones that launch. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Come on. Come on. Honestly, I wouldn't be disappointed if we had to run a victory lap versus drama lap again. Wouldn't be disappointed. Oh, 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 oh my God, it shot it all the way back. No. All right. Let's see if it makes it through this time. Let's see if it makes it through. I think this is a good use of 5 minutes for us. Let's be honest. Okay. Let's be honest. It's a good use. Okay. All right. Victory lap. The winner, baby. Unfortunately, our drama marble died. So that's unfortunate. All right. We got it done, team. We got it freaking done. Was that fun? I don't know. I'm trying to shake it up over here just a little bit so you guys enjoy the stream. All right. Let me get some marbles in the chat real quick. Let me get some marbles in the chat. I hope you guys enjoyed that. All right, that was fun for me. Okay, let's go back to the Miro board, guys. We're going to start on the victory lap side of things. So we're going to start with the wins, and then we'll move over to the L's, the losses in our marketing mayhem segment. So let's freaking hop in, baby. So in our victory lap, we're going to be covering the wins, the victories, and we're going to let our Google Trends take a victory lap around one more time because these were the greatest Google Trends as far as the 2023 dates go. So January all the way up until right now, the best Google Trends. And some of these are going to be throwbacks for you guys. It's going to be fun to kind of go through these. But our first Google Trend, soccer club, okay? Football club, Al Nasser. I'm sure I'm butchering that. I don't follow soccer, or I'm sorry, football. I don't follow football at all. So this was news apparently. And Cristiano Ronaldo, massive contract signed, but got a lot of attention for the Al Nassr football club. I guess that's exciting. If I'm butchering that name, I apologize. I don't follow soccer very much. So, but check this out. Contract breakdown, Cristiano Ronaldo over 1 year, $200 million. If we break that throughout a month, $16.6 million, 1 day, 548K a day. Sure. Not bad. Quite the dub for Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo, but 1 hour, $22,833, 1 minute, $380. And every second, $6.34. That's absurd. An absurd amount of money. So this was very early on in the year, guys. Cristiano Ronaldo signing that new contract, massive contract, $200 million per year. That's an absurd amount of money. So our first dub of the day is going over to Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo. And I just realized I'm not sharing my screen. Okay. So Felix asked me anything about football. Well, hopefully I pronounced the name right. So let me know if I pronounced the name right. If I didn't for some reason, freaking let me know. Okay. So first dub of the Google Trends, Al Nasser, Saudi Arabia splashing. Huge splash. Huge splash. Yeah, let's take a look. So majority of the regions here, Yemen, Saudi Arabia, Somalia, Haiti, Tajikistan, right? Middle East area, right? Really big news, obviously, over there. Made some splashes over here in the U.S. and other countries as well, because hey, football is really popular apparently across the world. So, first dub, first victory lap goes to Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo and the football club of Al Nasser. Second one of the day, guys. We got to talk about The Last of Us. And if we have any gaming fans in here, you guys know that the TV show spinoff of The Last of Us came out this year. It was originally, I think, a PlayStation game is where it started, but eventually moved into the TV show. And guys, this TV show freaking did fantastic. And you'll see here, very beginning of the year, more towards the end of last year, around this time, we saw a huge trend, huge tick, because this TV show absolutely crushed it. And for some reason, our Irish friends absolutely love this TV show. Canada, Chile, Norway, United Kingdom, really massive over there. But it was huge here in the United States as well. I'm sure the United States ranks pretty high up as well as far as the Google trends go. But guys, our season finale averaged 8.2 million viewers across all of the platforms, or all platforms for HBO, up slightly from, or that was the season finale, but they were averaging about 8 million views across all of their platforms, which is pretty crazy. So, according to HBO, The Last of Us first 6 episodes are averaging 30.4 million viewers since January 15th, when their premiere dropped. So, with their debut episode closing in on 40 million viewers. So huge dub for HBO. And one of the reasons that they were so successful with this launch had to do with the cast, specifically Pedro Pascal. Dude has been crushing the acting career as of late, has had some really big roles, and people freaking love him. People are like really bought into the Pedro fan base right now, and mostly because of some of the organic content that they've been posting. This one Reddit post that dropped from one of the staff of the Last of Us crew, where Pedro actually bought Five Guys for the entire crew of Last of Us. And so it was like little stuff like this, and there was a bunch of stuff, and any feedback on Pedro is that he's just like a fantastic human. So I think people are just wanting to support him, but also the show absolutely is crushing it. And if you guys are a big fan of the show, Last of Us Season 2 resumes production following the end of the WGA strikes. So the writing strikes that were happening in California and really across the country. And then filming is set to start again on January 7th, 2024 in Vancouver. So pretty exciting for that. If you guys are big Pedro fans, or if you are big Last of Us fans, well, there's a new season coming out, and they absolutely crushed it at the beginning of this year. And so HBO gets a dub, Pedro gets a dub. Let's freaking go! The Last of Us crushed it. All right. Of course, we can't talk about this year or wrap up the dubs for this year without talking about little Chat GPT. And as you can see, the trends were consistent over the past year, because there's a lot of drama that has happened over the past year with Chat GPT. 3.5 got an update to 4. So Chat GPT 4, so trained on more parameters, right? So the original Chat GPT 3.5 was trained on roughly 175 billion parameters, which is a pretty substantial amount. But they didn't update Chat GPT 4 has 1 trillion parameters that was trained on. So we got an update to Chat GPT, which was massive. If you guys used the 3.5, it was pretty decent, but the 4 is really exponentially better. If you guys have been using 3.5 and then transfer to 4, also trained through human and AI feedback for a further 6 months beyond that of Chat GPT 3.5. So I had many more corrections and suggestions on how it can improve. So Chat GPT 4 also trained on newer data. Some of the data with 3.5 was very limited, especially when it first came out, but up to date as far as September 2021, which is pretty up to date as far as the AI side goes. So excited to see more from Chat GPT as well. But the trend kind of continued even past the launch of GPT-4, which was around this man right here, Mr. Altman. And the shocking power struggle roller coaster, which their board of directors actually fired Sam Altman, which is absolutely wild. The founder of ChatGPT. And really the whole idea behind this was that through a deliberate the deliberative review process of the board, they concluded that he was not consistently candid in communications with them, hindering its ability to exercise its responsibilities. And as a result, the company said that he no longer had a seat at the table, which is wild. And this hit the news extremely hard. And I'm sorry. This hit the news extremely hard and ended up reversing all of it at the end. So it was like a 2 week, maybe a week, 2 week stint of him being let go. And then he said he was going to go work for Microsoft. And then they backtracked it and they brought him back on. So he's now back in the CEO slot. But there's massive news in the GPT world. People were shocked. They were like, is this marketing ploy? Is this actually happening? But Sam Altman back in the driver's seat inside of ChatGPT and OpenAI as a whole. But what's great about this is OpenAI is set to see its valuation at $80 billion this year, making it the third most valuable startup in the world. So through all the drama and some of the successful new launches of GPT-4 and all the crazy stuff happening internally with their leadership team, still making a splash on their valuation, kind of crushing it. Yeah, Felix changed the game when it came to the ChatGPT side. So really exciting to see Altman crushing the game over there. I think it's going to be groundbreaking. It's going to be really helpful for a lot of agencies and people in the agency space. So we're going to keep plugging along with it. So little ChatGPT win dub. They've been just consistent on the Google Trends over the last few months. All right, our next one. And this is one of my favorite ones because I was partial to this game as well. A little Hogwarts Legacy. So for our gaming fans out there, Hogwarts Legacy made a massive boom at the beginning of this year, generating over $1 billion in revenue for the game, which is absurd. Really big across the country. I mean, uh, why do I keep wanting to call it Hogwarts? Harry Potter. There we go. Harry Potter's been one of those just franchises that has been successful. Pretty much everything that they launch, and the game didn't let down. It got great reviews and actually beat out Modern Warfare 3. That was the best-selling game of 2023. So massive dubs to Hogwarts Legacy. But one of my favorite memes and trends that came from this was specifically about one of the characters, and people went off on this, which was Mirabelle Garlic, which was one of the professors inside of the game, one of the baddies. A lot of memes coming out about Mirabelle, and yeah, it was fun to kind of see the trends that came after Hogwarts Legacy and the things that people were saying about it, the memes that were coming out from it. But at the end of the day, it seems like they're going to continue on this trend of releasing more Harry Potter games. 79% of devs, though, are increasingly pressured to release unfinished games. And this is something that we've seen across the table when it comes to the gaming industry in whole. A lot of complaints around unfinished games, but Hogwarts Legacy definitely delivered on this one. Got great reviews. People are wanting expansions. I don't think it has expansions yet, but they crushed it with this one, and they were a hot trend for the beginning of this year as well, and ended up absolutely crushing it. I don't know if they got an award for the game this year, but I think it should have if it didn't. All right, that leads us to, what'd you say? Millennial nostalgia. 80% unfinished, 20% DLC. That's what I'm saying, man. They need more DLC for games like that. Okay. All right, last one, guys. We got little Barbie, little Oppenheimer, Barbenheimer. This was a massive trend, especially here in the United States. And honestly, think kind of saved the film industry. And okay, saved is obviously probably a little over dramatic, but you can see the trends really peaking around the August or their release date. Man, there were so many memes, there were so many collaborations inside of this, and the Barbie movie officially hit its highest grossing release of the year, $1.36 billion globally. Absolutely crush it. And then Oppenheimer crosses 900 million at global box office. Universal tops 4 billion worldwide in 2023. So huge contributor to that 4 billion was Oppenheimer, together crossing over $2 billion in ticket sales, which is absolutely absurd. And I think the big thing from this in the marketing trend here was a lot of the success of this had to do with their collaboration with one another, because like they were so polar opposites as far as the type of movie that it was. And I think that's what made it really great, is because they had the same release date. And we've seen this happen. I think this happened back in 2002 with a couple different movies. One of them was the Star Wars Attack of the Clones movie, and then one other one. It was more of a chick flick type romance movie, and they released on the same day, but they played a very similar strategy here, so potentially pulled a little bit from that as well. But the eye-popping success of Barbenheimer pulled the summer box office out of the brink of disaster. And with this, we saw this especially off the backs of COVID and people going back to the movies. So got people back into theaters, and you know, if the theaters have to rely on never before seen cultural events to hit their numbers, they're in more trouble though. So essentially, what people are saying about this is that, hey, if we need to rely on like these massive never before seen like cultural events where we're coming together with two different movies, totally different, and having to do marketing around this, it's gonna be really hard to sustain. But success overall got people back in the theaters. I think it was a massive success, and part of this box office tickets up 25% over 2022, and moving into 2023, 6.5 billion in ticket sales, which is pretty absurd. But if you take out Barbenheimer's combined global haul of more than 2.13 billion, and the summer box office is a complete horror show. So I don't know if you guys saw this, but there's like a lot of the movies that came out, Indiana Jones, The Flash, even Tom Cruise couldn't deliver with a new Mission Impossible movie. A lot of backfires this year, especially. So we'll see how things pan out next year. I think the writer's strike is going to continue to affect this specific niche, but overall, big trend, big boom for the Barbenheimer. Absolutely crushed it this year. So big dub. And that's our last dub inside of the victory lap. Exciting stuff we're seeing right now. We're all just living off the hype. They got to slow down. It's not a bull market. True. All right, crew. Well, that takes us over into the drama section. All right, so some of the worst Google trends, some of the biggest L's from the Google trend scenarios that we've seen over the past year. Let's freaking drop in. Where was the drama this year? Well, we got to start it off with Mr. Andrew Tate, of course, who popped back on our radar very early on in the year, where he got arrested. He got arrested for, he got convicted of, not convicted. He got, what do you call it? Not convicted. The other word for it, but essentially brought to court for some sex trafficking and rape accusations. That was the word I was looking for. Accusations. But the big L here is that Romanian authorities seized 11 cars belonging to Tate and his brother, equaling a third of their collection, which Tate also likes to brag about a decent amount. So Rolls Royce Wraith, Aston Martin Vantage. Brutal. And the worst part is that even after they were released, they requested a return of assets seized in the trafficking case, and they denied that pretty quickly. So, yeah, interesting. So now he's currently released from house arrest. He's in house arrest for quite some time, but feel like he's still walking on some eggshells. He's been doing a few podcasts here and there. If you guys haven't been able to catch one of those, but he is out. He is roaming around, but I don't know where he goes from here. Oops. I think the big thing for him is probably laying low for a little bit. I don't know if he should be doing podcasts, but he's doing them right now. So anyway, first L, unfortunately, goes to Andrew Tate. I know there's some Tate fans in the crowd, but big L for him this year. Man, getting your cars taken away, it's brutal. Second one is a big L for COVID. COVID had some hot Google trends this year as well, but starting to fall off the map. So this is the Google trend for this year, which does show a slight decline in the amount that COVID was actually searched for. And as you can see, if we look at a little bit larger scope of the past 5 years, that early 2020, we saw a big boom, big peak, and then pretty much consistent all the way through 2021 and into 2022. It started to decline and then kind of flatlined in 2023. And so a big part of this was also the end of the federal COVID-19 public health emergency declaration. So all of the public health emergencies had ended as far as May 2023. So we did see a little peak and it was trending for a little bit. But although COVID loss let's talk about Johnson and Johnson for a second, which this isn't 2023 numbers because those aren't out yet. But I mean, look at these revenue numbers. This is in the billions, by the way. So this is 94 billion in 2022, 93 and 93 billion in 2021, and 82 billion in 2020. So quite the jump if you look at the trends of the growth of Johnson and Johnson, who provides the vaccination for COVID. You see a nice little jump here from 2020 to 2021. Look at that little $11 billion jump, which if you look at their trends, sometimes not even $1 billion in growth year over year. They had a good jump in 2017, but 11 billion extra in from 2020 to 2021. So although COVID lost this year and it fell off a little bit, Johnson and Johnson still freaking thriving. All right, that moves us into my favorite loss, which is going to be the Titanic submarine. I mean, it was hot, guys. It was hot for literally 2 weeks. Okay. And it was all people were talking about the Ocean Gate submersible. I'm sure you guys have heard all about this, but unfortunately, it was a loss for Ocean Gate. Unfortunately, they are suspending all exploration. If you go to their website, oceangate.com, this is what you'll see. All exploration and commercial operations are currently suspended. Big L. Michael, what's up, bro? Good to see you, man. Pfizer down bad. Actually, Johnson and Johnson bought Pfizer, Felix. I believe that could be false information. You might want to fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure Johnson and Johnson bought Pfizer, so they are now owned by the same people. Fact check me on that. Okay. Rest in peace, controller memes. I mean, that's Ocean Gate for you, man. That's Ocean Gate for you. But hey, you guys, there is light for Ocean Gate still. The co-founder, they're surviving co-founder of OpenGate, is working on his latest venture that would send humans to the planet Venus. And basically, Venus is an uninhabitable planet. However, the goal is to have 1,000 people traveling and then living in Venus's sulfuric acid clouds. Yeah, by 2050. Absurd. So, dub for Venus, and dub for the future of Ocean Gate. There's hope. There's hope that Ocean Gate will continue to expand. And guys, on this, I even looked it up. Surviving on Phoenix. The challenges and possibilities. It has a dense, toxic atmosphere consisting mainly of carbon dioxide with clouds of sulfuric acid, creating a runaway greenhouse effect. So possible for people to survive at the surface temperatures around 870 degrees Fahrenheit, 465 degrees Celsius for all of our European friends out there. Yeah, so the surface not going to happen, but if you could like float in a balloon in the atmosphere, you could technically survive, apparently. So it has its challenges for sure, but it does have its possibilities. So we are not going to completely ship Ocean Gate off as a complete loss. There is hope by 2050. Okay. So you guys hang in there. Hang in there for Ocean Gate. All right. They're going to make it. Okay. We're going to have some success with them. All right. And then, of course, our last dub or our last L of the year, the last little piece of drama, our good friend. Look at this gangster. What a handsome fella. Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF, got big trends towards the end of this year. As you guys know, Sam Bankman-Fried, founder of FTX, big collapse that happened inside of their little timeline. If you guys are unfamiliar, really, the collapse started in November of last year, I believe. But a lot of allegations coming out, a lot of funny money happening inside of FTX. The big thing here was transferring $10 billion to his to another holding company, Alameda. That was it. Alameda Research, and essentially just kind of blew the doors off things. So kind of sucks, but he got arrested in the Bahamas late last year, and then was actually convicted this year, multi-billion-dollar FTX fraud. But one of the dubs from this was this awesome oil painting that was done by the cartographer. I don't know if that's the right word. Cartographer inside of the courtroom. But essentially drew a sketch of him, and this is what surfaced. Now, this could be a meme, and I think Elon Musk also posted this, but this could be a meme, and this could be completely fake. But it was hilarious. It blew up on Twitter. So he got a little extra notoriety from the Twitter crew, from the X crew on this one. But overall, big L for Sam Bankman-Fried this year. The maximum term is more than 100 years for Bankman-Fried, who will turn 32 in March, the month when he will be sentenced. Unfortunate, but a lot of these white-collar crimes, guys, tend to be punished less severely for violent crimes. So I think they're estimating 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see what happens. In the next probably year or so when the sentence actually comes through. But here's the thing, guys. Not a whole entire loss for Sam Bankman here. If you guys look into his net worth currently, still estimated at a $3 million net worth, not too shabby after stealing billions of dollars and actually having to pay a lot of that back. And as of recently, I think FTX just came out pretty recent that they're going to pay a lot of investors back for what they put into FTX. So a little light at the end of the tunnel, not a complete loss for everybody involved. We'll see what happens, but unfortunately, it does probably suck going from a $16 billion net worth to about 3 million. But 3 million, I think most people would take that. Still not horrible. So he'll just have to enjoy that 3 million from buying some bars apparently. So, and that's it, guys. That is our Marketing Mayhem Google Trends Edition 2023. Some victories, some drama, all of the good mix. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Felix said, "I want a cartographer." Rip crypto. Crypto took a dive. I don't know where it's at right now. I think it's on the rebound. Let me know if I'm right on that, but I think it's on the rebound. If I'm not mistaken. All right, you guys, that is it for Marketing Mayhem. We're moving over to the Guru Gauntlet. I hope you guys are ready to watch some gurus. And I'm worried about this one. You guys, I'm not going to lie, last week, we actually had some decent gurus. They actually did a halfway decent job as far as what they presented and the tactical information. I have a bad feeling about this one this week. This one's going to be a little less fun, I think, to consume because I think we're gonna have some guru tendencies here, and some people are gonna get some backlash. So we're gonna start with Grayson Lupus. I don't really know. Apparently, Grayson Lupus used to run an agency, I believe. Now has a coaching program to help people start agencies, which is totally fine. We're cool with people doing this, but we want to make sure that the information is good and that people get the best information possible, right? So we'll go through. We're not going to bash anyone. All right? I'm sure Grayson's a great kid. Okay, he's got a great smile in this picture. He's got a nice little thumbnail. I think this video actually has a decent amount of views as well. But we're going to jump in. We're just going to see what he has to say and see if there might be some tweaks and some feedback based off of what he's telling us. So let's jump in. We got Grayson first. This is a 7-minute video. Okay. And the title of this is 10 plus guaranteed, or 10 plus clients guaranteed with the social funnel system. Okay. SMMA and coaches. So let's take a peek here. If you can give me 10 plus clients guaranteed in 7 minutes, 7 minutes and 53 seconds, I'll be impressed. That would be great. So let's take a peek at what he has to say here. Let me know. Hey, Felix, let me know if you guys can hear this when I play it. I know it's muted right now. But let me zoom in. Let me get the frame right first. All right, there we go. I'll move it over just a little bit. All right.
Down the social funnel system, which is the system that I use in my business to acquire clients that is going to allow us to do multiple 7 figures this year, and the same system that I teach to everybody inside of empiresocial.com. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
So I will say his editing, not too shabby.
So I always preach that there's
good audio,
3 parts to any online business. There's an offer, there's attention on the offer, and then there's a funnel behind that offer. If you have those 3 things, that's...
All right, time out. We got to go back and listen to that one more time.
Parts to any online business. There's an offer, there's attention on the offer, and then there's a funnel behind that.
All right. Okay. All right. 3 parts to any business. There's an offer, there's attention on the offer, and there's a funnel behind that offer. I understand where he wants to go. Okay. I really do. I really do understand this. But come on. There's more than just these 3 parts. Okay. You're literally talking about your ability to generate leads and convert sales. There's a little bit more to running a service-based business like a consulting program or a agency than just these 3. But we'll give him the benefit of the doubt that he's talking specifically lead gen sales. Okay. Okay. I get it. Offer, attention on that offer, funnel behind that offer. I don't really understand what he means by funnel behind that offer, but let's listen.
Offer. If you have those 3 things, that's all you need to really run an online business. But in this video, I'm going to focus on just that second part, which is attention, meaning how are we going to actually acquire new clients, assuming that we have an optimized offer and that we have a good funnel behind that offer. And so this social funnel system depends on your offer and your niche, but I'm going to go into this video for agency owners, coaches, and consultants on exactly how to do this. So in terms of client acquisition and the way that I personally do it, and there's a lot of other ways that we also teach in empiresocial.com.
We love the caveat. The caveat to there's multiple ways to do this. Is the way that we teach. And I'm very curious the depth that we get on this because already we're getting our first pitch, which is empiresocial.com. Guarantee 10 clients or your money back. Careful with that
There's
guarantee.
Our cold email system, there's the cold DM system, but other than those 2, there are 2 ways to acquire clients. There is a community and then there is direct response. And depending on where you're at with your business, you're going to want to use one of these 2 things. In my opinion, I think it's good to have a mix of both of these because they work really well together, but I'm going to explain separately what.
So these are 2 ways to acquire clients. These are not the only 2 ways to acquire clients. We've talked about this quite a bit. And as far as like lead generation systems go, there's a lot of different ones. The community base, which is very strong, very traffic and funnels type system. I think honestly, they're one of the first ones to make that big. I don't know if Sam Ovens did this inside of his program. I know traffic and funnels founders Taylor Welch learned a lot of their systems from Sam Ovens. I don't know if Sam Ovens did the kind of free community, but I know traffic and funnels was massive on the community aspect in working their Facebook groups. So it can be viable, a little less viable than I think it used to be. I think people are less engaged in groups than they used to be just because the information is a little bit more vanilla and not in depth, and people gatekeep, I think, more than they used to. So
both of these are. So how a community works is usually on platforms like Discord, platforms like Instagram, platforms like Facebook groups, or just creating.
I will say that we've seen a lot more Discord groups popping up, which I think is a good place to house a community if you are going to do one, which let me know in the chat. Should we bring the agency Discord back at some point? I would love that. Corey said fulfillment's kind of important. Nah, bro, just get deals. Just get deals, homie. Groups got to be popping these days. Yeah, for this to actually work, groups have to be super active. And Corey actually sold for traffic and funnels back in the day. I mean, dude, that was one of the most active Facebook groups I think I've ever seen in my entire life. It was wild. Corey said, yes, bring the Discord back. All right, we'll look into it. I want to do it slightly different. I want to do it something that contributes back to agency therapy of topics. I want, your guys' a collaboration on what should we talk about? What are some new segments that we should do? Stuff like that. You guys can even send me guru videos in and I'll review those guru videos for you.
Any sort of group of people that all have common interests. You could use a Facebook group funnel where you post content or you run ads and you bring everybody to a free Facebook group. And then inside of that Facebook group, you have appointment setters, people, and you basically try and sell everybody in the group into your coaching program or your agency service. You could use the IG growth funnel, which is basically where you use your Instagram account as a client acquisition funnel, where you post reels or you boost videos, you run ads to your page and you bring new attention to your page. And then you have a group of followers that are all all interested in what you talk about. And then you have appointment setters, and you have story posts, and you have call to actions where people then book appointments with you. And that's how that system works. There's also Discord groups where you post YouTube videos or TikToks, and then you bring everybody to a Discord. And inside of the Discord, it's free, but you sell people into your coaching program or agency. So there's obviously a bunch of different communities that I just described, but that's what the community funnel is. And again,
okay, so a lot of the what so far. I'm curious if he gets into the how and more of the tactical side, because I think a majority of us probably understand that community is going to be a big part of what we do. It's funny because our consultancy actually doesn't even run a community yet. We're debating on what we want to do, because like if you do a community, you really have to do it, and if you do it, like, you probably need someone almost full time just managing that community, getting people in, nurturing them. Because he's right, like, you need appointment setters in there. Like, it is a system, and it can be quite robust. You got to schedule trainings, guest speakers. There's a lot that goes into it on the group side. I think it can still be effective if it's done really well, and if there's a ton of value on the front end. Because something that we talk about a lot, especially in like sales training, is building that trust and rapport with people. It's a great place to continue to nurture that relationship, but the same can be true if you get people inside of like your email newsletter. So there's different places you can house communities. And I think one that is understated here is going to be like an email newsletter, especially if you have a little bit more of a mature clientele that you're going after. Chances are, if you're looking for the larger businesses, so say you're looking for, e-commerce brands doing 7-8 figures a year, chances are they're not joining the free group, right? But they might subscribe to an email newsletter and read your stuff, right? Like, that's more common than them probably joining a group for like the tips, tricks, things like that. So maybe run it in tandem with the newsletter. I think that would be an effective way to kind of add on to what Grayson's saying about building community.
And there's community and there's direct response. And in my opinion, community is going to be the long-term play and always going to be the best thing to do. The only reason that you shouldn't build a
100%, like building community, anything like organic growth wise, it's just going to take time and nurturing.
Community is if you have an agency that you don't think you're going to run for the next 5 to 10 years, because building a community takes a long time and a lot of effort. So if you have an agency, let's say for dentists, and you have zero passion about working with dentists for the next 5 to 10 years, however, you're just starting this agency because you want cash flow, then first of all, my opinion would be that you shouldn't start a business that you're only going to run for 5 to 10 years. Well, first of all, my opinion would be that you shouldn't start a business that you're only going to run for the next year or two. But second, let's say that you are going to do this anyways, you probably don't want to build a community of dentists or chiropractors or other, local businesses that you're just not.
I don't think it takes that long to build a community. Like, I don't think it takes 10 years to do that. I think you can do that relatively quick if you're putting enough effort into it. I think that is the part he gets right here is, hey, the effort, the energy has to be put into the group for it to be effective. Because what happens is people will often start Facebook groups, because I know, because I've done this before. I've started a Facebook group or I've started a community and just didn't have the manpower to actually manage it. Corey, man, you can't be saying that stuff, bro. He says it does take that long if you're trash. Let's get some trash emojis in the chat. No, but I mean, he is right. It does take long. But it doesn't take 5 to 10 years. Like, you could stand up a pretty solid community I think probably 6 months to a year if you put the time and attention into it. And you constantly invite people to it. You're constantly doing the networking to bring people into the community. And if the resources and trainings are in depth, are actually good, you can stand up a community pretty quick.
Not interested in long term. And so what you would want to do in that situation is probably just direct response. However, if you do have a long-term vision and you want to build a community of like-minded people or build a community of your ideal clients, then the community funnel is going to be the best way to do it. And you can do that, like I said, through the Facebook group funnel. You can do that through building a Discord community. You can do that on school.com. You can do that in Slack. There's a ton of different places to host communities, but obviously you need all the attention to bring to the community. You need people that actually want to join the community, which I'm going to go into a bit later. So that's a brief overview of what a community is and how you can actually sell using a community. So the other way to sell is through direct response.
Okay. So once again, a lot of what to do. Now how to do it. Like, how do you set up the community? What, like, what does it look like on the inside? How are you getting people through with your setters, right? Which I understand, like, this is a high level video, and the whole goal is like to get people into probably his community, and then be able to sell them into like the implementation or the actual strategy on how to do it. Um, but I don't know, man. I'm just like, don't just show them the what, give them a little bit of the how as well. That way they can actually take what you're teaching them and apply it and have success with it. Because I've always found that like when people have success with your free stuff and they get a really good result with the free stuff, they're gonna buy your paid stuff, right? Even if it's just to connect with you and work alongside of you. Corey mentioned, yeah, value grows communities much faster for sure. Good point. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
And so what direct response is where you post an advertisement, and from that advertisement, someone is either going to click the link down below and book a call, or they're going to keep swiping because it is direct response. You're going to get an immediate response to whether that person's going to book a call or not. And obviously you can hit people with retargeting ads and you can hit them with the same ad again. But again, those are all just direct response. You're either going to get a response or you're not. You're not going to bring them into a community like you are with the community funnel and, you know, nurture them over time and eventually.
Okay. Yes. Yes, you might not get them in your community, but there's a little thing we call opt-ins, right? Where chances are, if you're running something more direct response, and my recommendation is if anyone's going to click on something of yours, there should be some sort of opt-in in order to capture information, right? So there's still an ability to nurture people over time, outside of just the community that you're building, whether it's on Facebook, Discord, wherever. There's still the ability to capture information and then put them in your email newsletter. I'm telling you, email newsletter is so overlooked and so underrated when it comes to nurturing a community. And if the goal is to eventually get them in, well, guess what? In your newsletter, you could put call to actions into your groups as well, which becomes a really effective kind of like cycle of, hey, they might not be ready to commit to a group quite yet because the trust hasn't been built, but maybe they give you their information to get like a freebie. And this is why I'm always a big fan of, if you're going to run direct response for something like this, right? Where it's like, it's not direct response to the main offer, but giving away a freebie or maybe a low ticket offer. When you do that capture, then you put them in your email nurture sequence, and then hopefully you can scoot them into your Facebook group, your Discord community, whatever it might be, right? It flows into that so you can nurture them more intimately with your team. You can have more direct response. You can shoot them DMs, things like that. But I don't think direct response necessarily is, it's like, hey, like the direct response is only for the offer, or the direct response is only to get people into the community. Sure, you could do that, but the direct response, in my opinion, needs to be very value forward. And that's why I like kind of like low ticket, low barrier offers, sometimes even free. Like we run a ton of free paid to just get the opt-ins so we can call them, which, I mean, now that I'm even talking about this, is like, hey, like why not get that information and then put them in a newsletter that will hopefully transfer them over into a community at some point in time where you can have more of that direct relationship with them. Holy shit, that's fucking good. You should do that. All right, let's keep listening.
Eventually become your client. No, it is kind of do or die in the moment. Are they going to book a call or are they not? And obviously you can probably see why I think community long-term is going to win, because, you know, you can bring someone in that's not ready to buy, and in 6 months from now, if they're in your community and they've been nurtured over and over again, then they'll be ready to buy. Versus say direct response, you know, you're not going to be able to nurture anybody by just putting an ad in front of them for the next 6 months. So,
okay, once again, if the direct response is to a direct offer, yeah, you can't nurture them that way. But if the direct response does get an opt-in and does get the information needed to nurture them, then they're going to be able to enter into a nurture sequence that will hopefully get them into a group eventually, right? So I don't like that people like pigeonhole direct response into, hey, we have to push them to the main offer. It's not always the case. Sometimes we push them to a low barrier offer. Sometimes we push them to a free training, free resource, right? It's really effective to build that, what we consider like top of funnel, right? And so don't always see direct response as like, hey, we only sign people into our main offer, our high ticket offer. Okay. It can be effective if you guys really crack that side, but you're going to have people that are skeptical, especially if you're a smaller agency or consulting firm or service in business, you have people that are skeptical at the beginning until that trust is built, right? And these nurture sequences are what builds the trust long term, right? Whether that's through email, whether that's, hey, we can get them into our group at some point in time through those free resources, like build that trust with your community with some direct response. You don't even have to run that much money against it. We get a decent amount of opt-ins for very low spend. We covered that. I don't know if that was the last week. I can't remember, but go back to one of the other agency therapies. It talks about how we get roughly $30 cost per lead on our opt-ins. So go check that out.
These are the two types inside of the social funnel system that you can use to acquire clients. Now, how do we actually get the attention to both of these funnels? Obviously, building a community sounds easy, right? But how do you get people in the community? Obviously, running a direct response campaign sounds easy, but how do you get people to view your ad? How do you get people to view your content? How do you get people to open your cold emails or your cold DMs in direct response? That is the key question. And once you crack that question and you solve that question, you get the answer, that is when you see explosive growth in your business. And that's exactly when I saw explosive growth in mine. So there's 4 platforms that I currently use to get attention, and I'll tell you exactly how I use each and every one. There's TikTok, there's Instagram, there's
all right, we're getting to the how-to, baby. 5 minutes in, we got 2 minutes to crack this thing. Let's go.
YouTube, and there's Twitter. So TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, I'm gonna go through each one right now. With TikTok, I post organic content there every day, but my content really doesn't get that many views because TikTok views are down right now. Obviously, getting a couple thousand views on a video is still a couple thousand free views. However, I personally mostly use direct response TikTok ads. If you want to learn how to run TikTok ads, go check out my last couple YouTube videos where I explain exactly how I personally run my ads.
So with TikTok, just know your demographic. Lower intent buyers, I would say, as far as like the maturity of an audience. So I think Grayson is shooting for that classic SMMA young entrepreneur group, which is totally fine. Like TikTok would probably be a great place to actually do some of the marketing. But if you're looking for some of the more mature audience, people that are running a little bit more established businesses, they're probably not scrolling on TikTok, in my personal opinion.
At empiresocial.com. For Instagram, what I do is I use the IG growth funnel. So this is where you basically run ads or you post content, you get traction to your page, you get engagement on your page, meaning you get likes, comments, followers, and then you have an appointment setter go in and reach out to everybody via Instagram DMs and try and book them in for an appointment. And that works like wildfire. That is an example of a community funnel because you're bringing people onto your Instagram page, which is basically the host of your community, and you're nurturing them with content over time, and you're nurturing them by messaging them on Instagram. Versus TikTok, where you run an ad and they either click on the ad or they don't and they book a call. YouTube is what you're watching right now, and that.
So I'd be curious to look at. I wonder if he's running anything right now. Let me look real quick. And oh no, he said he's running that on. Is he running that on Facebook? Where was he running that at?
Your Instagram page, which is basically the host.
Okay, so it is Facebook. Let's pull up the ads library real quick. Let's pull up the ads library. Let's see what's happening. There he is. Grayson Lupus. 22,000 followers. Wow. Wow. All right. So running November 26th. So relatively new creatives. All right. Can you guys see this? No, I have to share it again. All right. Well, let's take a peek. See.
No, I shut down my $60,000 a month marketing agency to go all in on coaching, and as soon as I did, I collected $97,000 last month.
Did you have a
inside
misspelling?
Of my coaching business.
Did you have a misspelling in his caption? And son, as I did.
As soon as I did, I collected $97,000 last month inside of my coaching business. And I just made a full 45-minute breakdown on how Tim did the exact same thing and collected $30,000 in cash his first 3 months coaching. The same system Peter used to sign 3 clients last week, that Julian used to do over $20,000 in profit month 1 of launching his coaching offer, and Ridge used to do $12,000 in a single day. All you have to do is DM me the word training and I'll send it over for free right now. If you're following me on Instagram, you probably know I shut down my $60,000 a month mark.
Okay. I'd be curious. I wish Rob was here right now. Okay. I don't know if the FTC would have a field day with this or not. I'd be curious because it is to a free training. But there are some claims inside of there, which yes, they are case studies, but once again, remember chatting with Rob last week on specifically this subject of running people to an offer. And honestly, I don't think it matters if it's free or paid. Potentially, if it's free, it's maybe okay. I don't know for sure though, but there are some claims inside of there, so be curious. But it looks like this one's to a free training. Let me see what the call to action was again. And the ad's fantastic, by the way. Like I understand why he's probably doing pretty well inside of this. It's good editing. Good social proof.
$12,000 in a single day. All you have to do is DM me the word training and I'll send it over for free right now. If you're following me on Instagram, you probably know I shut.
Okay, so DM ad. I mean, it's a good ad. I mean, I like it. I understand why it's probably doing well. Let's go back. I want to see his other ads real quick. Oh, of course, it goes all the way back to this. That's crazy. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, so that was the first one. I'm curious to see his other ads real fast. Hopefully you guys are cool with me just jumping in here and looking at some ads.
Here's the exact system I use to scale my coaching offer to over $80,000 in monthly recurring revenue, and shoot me a follow for a full breakdown. First, instead of just posting content or running ads to a landing page, we run ads just like this to consistently build our following with qualified prospects. Then we use long form content and retargeting ads to get inbound DMs from warm prospects, and before we book them in for a call, they already know and trust us. If you finally want consistency and predictability in your coaching business, just shoot me a follow here on Instagram and go through all my past content where I explain exactly how to do just that. Here's the
I mean, dude, this is definitely booking calls for him. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I mean, I want to see the last one real quick. Can I just like go back one? Is that possible? Oh, shoot. I went to his Facebook page. Like if I push back, I think, yeah, it just takes me back here. That's annoying. All right, let's look at this.
If you've already scaled past 10K a month with your agency, the fastest path to 7 figures is by packaging your skills into a coaching or consulting offer. This is exactly what I did 9 months ago. From $50,000 a month in my agency to $97,000 in cash last month with a more scalable and profitable model. Follow me here on Instagram to learn exactly how. Jordan took his $70,000 a month med spa agency, packaged it into a coaching offer, and doubled his profit with 10 times less service delivery. Or Tim, who took his done for you content agency and packaged it into a more scalable coaching offer and scaled to over $30,000 a month in his first 3 months. Follow me here on Instagram and go through all my past content to learn exactly how. If you've already scaled past 10K a month,
I'd be curious. I'd be curious if this is FTC compliant or not. I don't think it is, technically. So, Grayson, if you're watching this replay, brother, be careful with your claims. Even if it's going to something free, I would still be extremely careful. It's just not worth. It's not worth it, man. It's not worth it. I promise. There's other ways that you can get some traction without making claims. All right, let's hop back into his video here. All right, back in it. I gotta skip ahead though because it's gonna restart. We already watched that. True. You know what's crazy? I have a relatively small following on YouTube, and we get probably one deal once a month, every other month, and I have less than 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is a great reminder. Hey, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel real quick. Would appreciate it. Thanks. But I think YouTube is one of the most uh, uh, best time investments that you can make as far as putting out content and your market leader positioning. So he's not wrong there. Whoa, look at that. We're on alignment. Sitting down. Twitter organic rocks. I would love to copy and paste it, bro, and try it out, but I don't know how to do it, right? There's no how to here. It's all what. I will say this dude is very well spoken. He will definitely sell. Sell easy. All right, Grayson. Not a bad job. I would just love to see more how to, or is it just the what to do, right? Because here's the thing: is like you say, hey, you could just copy and paste this whole system. It's like, well, there's nothing to copy and paste, brother. What are we looking at? Like, give me a little how to. Give me something that we can implement, right? So overall, not a bad video. The dude is great editing, great visuals inside of here, keeps the attention the whole time. So I'm sure that video did well. If you guys like what Grayson had to say, go check out his YouTube channel. He's got quite a few videos in there as well. All right, you guys vibing right now? How we feeling? Let me know. Drop some action in the chat. Felix, you still around, brother? You still around? Still hanging? Corey? Hopefully you guys are jamming with that so far. Oh, I don't know if I wrapped up. I don't know if I wrapped up with this on or not. All right. Second, Guru Gauntlet. We're gonna put Iman through it. Iman. I love Iman. Who doesn't like Iman? All right. Let's take a peek here. What does Mr. Iman have to say today? You guys, title on this one: building a $10,000 per month agency in 30 days. So this video should deliver on how to show us how to build a 10K per month agency in 30 days. So let's see if Mr. Iman can deliver for us.
A very exciting video. In today's video, I'm going to outline the exact steps that I took almost 4 years ago at this point to scale my agency to 10K a month in 30 days rapidly, and the exact steps that my students who have accomplished the same took as well. Now, this is one of those videos where after you finish watching it, you will totally reconsider.
This is an older video, by the way. I think this is like 2 years old. So we'll see if the same still applies today.
Consider what is possible for you in your SMMA journey. As always, before we can get started, you can find last video's Gadzhi giveaway winner. As you guys know, in each video, I give away an article of clothing from Gadzhi, my bespoke clothing line. And in today's video, I'm actually going to be giving away a pair of blue light blockers. These are the Cobalt Blue G1s. These sell for 85 pounds, so I think that's like 110 bucks or something. And as I said, gonna be giving away a pair of these again in today's video. Literally all you have to do to be entered to win is just subscribe, turn on post notifications, comment within
2 years ago he had 162,000 subscribers. What does he have now? Let's look real quick. That's crazy. What a blow up. He got almost 4 million. Wild. That's crazy growth. I mean, hats off.
In the first 2 hours of the video going live, and drop a like. And obviously you can enter into this giveaway as many times as you want because I give away a pair in every single video. As I said, the giveaway winner will be a pinned comment down below. With no further ado, let's get straight into it. Now, when it comes to my story with scaling that quick, it really comes down to a concept that I always tell my students, which is when it rains, it pours. So the first client that I ever got was actually in August of 2016, and I charged 380 pounds. I remember initially
you know, it's so funny. When I started in the consulting space, my first ever client was $300. $300 a month.
I pitched 300 pounds, decided that was too cheap, and I would also pitch weekly. So I pitched 75 pounds a weekly price. I ended up bumping that up to 95 pounds weekly because I was too scared to do 100 weekly because that sounded a little too intense for me. So anyways, ended up charging 380 pounds a month. And that was the first ever social media marketing client that I got. And after that, I went on a drought for 6-7-ish months and signed no clients, even though I was doing all the things that, in all fairness, these days I tell all my students do not do. Send out proposals, have multiple in-person, just strung out meetings, offer free trials, and the whole sort. So eventually it comes towards the end of February 2017, and I was actually going to Holland to create a video campaign for a client. Now, I didn't consider this a social media marketing client because they weren't paying me on a monthly basis, a retainer to do services for them. This is just a one-off gig, but it was the first time I ever traveled for work per se. And I remember looking out of that airplane window and just being like, this is the coolest thing ever. Like being able to travel for work. Like it was just such a crazy idea to me. And I knew that I wanted to go all out with my agency. So I just committed at that point. Once I made that commitment, you know, I didn't sign my first client straight away. I think it was another 2 or 3 weeks, but by mid-March, I had signed that first client. And then I ended up signing 4 clients in the space of a week. The first client I ever signed was a company called Athlete, now rebranded to GenFlow, and they work with the biggest influencers on earth, basically helping them to create physical products as well as digital products. Sean, the founder, I definitely would consider a early mentor to me. Obviously with one of them being one of my for grand, which was actually this cooking show, long story. And then I ended up signing another personal trainer for $750. And that was all in the space of 7 days. So as I said, ladies and gentlemen, when it rains, it pours. And then there's a couple more weeks and ended up signing my next few clients. And that's really the story of how I ended up scaling my monthly retainers from, I don't want to say zero because I did have that football club client, but that was like, what, 500 bucks. And actually when I got my first client, I ended that relationship just because it was not worth my time at all. I was pretty much doing 10 to 15 hours a week of work for that client, so it just didn't really work out. But anyways, that is basically my story. And this story mirrors the experience of so many of the community inside of Gray Agency. So in today's video, that's why I really want to peel back the curtain and reveal exactly what we did
Iman.
to have such amazing results in such a short span of time. Now, the first thing that myself and my students who have accomplished this result, the first thing that we did was we made our agency our entire life. Now, at the time, I was still in high school, and I'm not recommending this to any of you guys, but like I was a terrible student. Like I was a terrible student. I was horrible in school. Not only did I not really understand things, I was terrible at math.
That was an older video.
I was terrible at economics. That was one of the classes I took thinking that it would help me in business. Didn't help me one bit. But apart from that, I was also just a very rebellious student. I never liked being told what to do. So in class, I would actually be doing outreach. So while I was in class, I don't know how it worked at your school, but you know, personally in my school, and maybe that's just more of a European thing, but once you get into like your last 2 years of school, 3 years of school, you know, they'll let you have your iPad or your computer in front of you as a note-taking system because, you know, it's just a lot more organized than having pen, paper, etc., etc. So I would always have my computer in front of me and I would be doing outreach in class. At lunches, I would not hang out with people. I would sit alone and I'd be reading business books or doing more outreach. Between school, managing the business, and then also trying to manage my health, go to the gym, meditate, this, that. And at that point, I was also reading a book a week. I was getting around 4 to 5 hours a night sleep. I do not recommend that, by the way.
They want to be a hustler, they want to work hard.
Sleep is not for the weak. Sleep is for intelligent people, and I recommend you get 7.5 to 9 hours every night. Just at that point, I was going on an all-out offensive, and sometimes you have to go through those periods where, you know, certain things just kind of lag behind or get neglected. I said no to absolutely everyone if they want to hang. I didn't know what was going on in current affairs. I didn't care. I didn't care what anyone's opinion was of me. You know.
Okay, I don't know if we're gonna get into some tactical stuff here. I do like what he's talking about though, like kind of like the mindset around it. Like yeah, you got to say no to a lot of stuff, especially early on. Like getting an agency off the ground is definitely gonna take some time and effort. And if you kind of go into like, I think, you know, kind of like what he's coined as like the monk mode, right? When you go monk mode, man, you do make progress a lot faster. So I will say that, but hopefully making our agency, hopefully we get some like tactics here, like what where to start, how to pick a niche, something like that, potentially.
You know, you just get so dialed in, you just get so locked into a target that everything else becomes obsolete. That was the phase that I was in during that scaling period, and that's the phase that you need to get into if you want to achieve similar sort of results. Once you cut everything out, you make a decision and you get to work on it, it lifts such a burden off your shoulders and it makes the rest of the process so much easier. Most people spend so much time on productivity hacks and how to focus better, and the reality is a lot of times they just need to cut out more fluff out of their life, and then what's left is focus. So if you're making the decision to scale up your agency rapidly, you need to cut out things like drinking. You need to cut out things like excessive social media usage. You need to cut out things like, you know, coffee catch-ups with friends. I'm not saying you need to do that forever, but if you're serious about scaling your agency in extraordinary time, because let me tell you.
Okay. You guys, I don't know what it is with the like cutting everything out type thing of like you gotta cut everything. Like don't eat shit food, or don't drink coffee, or stop going to coffee. Like, dude, I did all of this stuff while growing our agency and did it pretty quick. Grew it to multiple 7 figures. So I will say, like, okay, what works for one person doesn't always work for everybody. So don't feel like you need to like just like completely turn everything off. I mean, in all transparency, it's like I did all those things. While like I went out and I had drinks with friends, I went and got coffee. There were certain times where we buckled down and it was like, hey, like I'm saying no to a lot. But I mean, I've done this multiple times now and grown multiple 7-figure businesses. And it's like I did all of this stuff during those times. So if you get distracted easily, or if you have a hard time like focusing down, maybe you cut the distractions. But for the most part, I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of like the extreme side of like entrepreneurship where it's like we're gonna cut everything that's unhealthy from our life. We're never gonna do anything ever again until we're successful. I think there is a balance, and I think that entrepreneurship shouldn't be taken that seriously. I think there's seasons that you do need to go into like this like monk mode, right? Which it can be very effective, but it's like forever. Come on, man.
Tell you, scaling your agency from $0 to $10,000 a month, that's not normal. Okay, that's not normal. Like I obviously have a sample size within Guru Agency.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Thousands of students in our program that helps people to get from 0 to 10K a month. And usually what I see is that if they are consistent with outreach, they'll get their first client within 30 to 90 days. But that doesn't mean that they're going to scale up to $10,000 a month. So you need to understand here that if you are trying to emulate what I did and what some of my students who have done the same have did in terms of scaling that quick in 30 days, then you are going to need to take extraordinary action. It's time to bunker down, go into what I like to call monk mode.
There it is,
and
monk
get
mode.
Real focused. It's one thing to put your head down and focus. It is another thing to put your energy in the right place. Because if you try to scale it,
okay, 100%. Put your energy in the right place. I think that's like the key takeaway on this side. Got to put your energy in the right place, but I don't think you got to cut everything. I think there's seasons where you need something like a monk mode, but you don't always have, like, it doesn't have to be like that forever. Driver, what's up, dude? Friggin' love it when Michael's in the building. What up, dude? Thanks for stopping by. You missed the Grayson the Grayson one. So you have to go back and watch the Grayson side of things. You didn't message me about him, and you're like, hey, this is my experience. He's a great speaker. He makes good content. A lot of what to do, not a whole lot of on the house side. So it was a good video though. He did a really good job with it. Now we're doing a little Iman Gadzhi, building a 10K per month agency in 30 days. Try her. Piss. Well, you're gonna have to watch the rest of the Iman video, and then we're getting into some ClickUp stuff. So if you guys are here for ClickUp, we're doing that in a minute. We'll jump over there here in about 10 minutes or so.
$10,000 a month in 30 days, and you do that by optimizing your website and building a brand playbook for your agency. It sounds silly when I'm saying it, but that's really like where a lot of beginner agency owners' mind and headspace is at. You need to get this in your head. From 0 to 10K a month, the only thing that drives the business forward is outreach. You're gonna have many clever ways to reframe it or justify why this act.
Yeah. You could have a dope referral network as well, like Schreiber did. Schreiber got a freaking cheat code with a good referral partner, and that blew him up. So it's not all based off outreach. That's why I'm bullish on, like, if you're starting an agency, that you pick a niche that you have connections in. Which, if you're starting from 0, yeah, you're gonna have to do some outreach. But I'm trying to find people that I know, friends, family, that have businesses that I can serve to be a test subject for. So, good hero's journey video. Yeah, I agree. I think that's. I didn't realize it was more of like a hero's journey video. But overall, you're not wrong on that, Colin.
Activity is actually driving the business forward and this and that, but those are all just excuses. I'm telling you this right now. When you're going on that journey from scaling from 0 to 10K a month, the only thing that drives you forward is outreach. Of course, set up your business domain and set up your business email. And if you're going down the route of hiring a contractor to deliver the service,
I think you should set up your domain. I think that's a non-negotiable. If you get outreach, especially email, from like a Gmail account, like colincastrina@gmail.com, I think it's a low barrier of trust. I don't think people take it as seriously when it comes from a more custom domain. I think it's more effective in that manner. So, disagreed, but I get what he's saying.
Services, and then adding an extra 100 to 200% markup on your service fee. And of course, spend a little bit of time to find a contractor. But once you extra 100 to 200% markup on what is outreach. Of course, set up your business domain and set up your business email. And if you're going down the route of hiring a contractor to deliver.
Okay, so he said do those things. Okay.
For the services,
we're in alignment.
And then adding an extra 100 to 200% markup on your service fee. And of course, spend a little bit of time to find a contractor. But once you've done those things, it is time to get into warrior mode and just focus on outreach. Warrior mode is where you put your head down and you just put in the work. Now, once you get to $10,000 a month, that is where you can clean up some of the systems and processes in your agency, where you can actually take a look at the outreach you're doing and ask yourself, can I get a better yield from the time that I'm putting in, aka the amount of outreach that I'm doing? Can I kind of tweak it a little so I get more meetings? Wizard mode is really where you look at your service delivery, ask yourself, how.
I've never heard this stuff before. I've heard of monk mode. Monk mode's kind of famous, but I've never heard of wizard mode or warrior mode yet. I want to know more about this. Is this inside of his program? Wait, Schreiber, what? Don't forget to spend 2 months on your website and logo. Or don't forget to spend 2 months on your website and logo. No, you don't need to spend that long on it, but you should definitely. I think you should stand up a website, dude. I think websites are essential to running an agency. It's my personal opinion. I've chatted about this before. I even put an Instagram poll out at one point about the if you need a website or not to start an agency. Now, to start an agency, no, I don't think you need a website. But I think long term, you need a website. You just need one, man. But here's the thing. So I just talked with my good friend Bailey the other today. My dude runs an agency. I think they'll do a couple mil this year. No agency or no website. Just landing pages. That's it. So maybe I'm wrong, man. Maybe I'm wrong in that you actually need a website to have a successful agency, but I don't know, man. I like having a website. I like brand. Like that's just how I'm wired. So do you need a website? Maybe not, but I don't know. I like it. I think it's a good asset to have. I think it builds trust with people that you're like an actual business. That's you know, well, like you're an online marketer. Like you're not gonna have a website. That's crazy to me. I don't know.
How can I get even better results for our clients and just make it a more positive experience working with our agency? But first, get to $10,000 a month. And as I said, if anything else comes to mind that isn't outreach during that period, it is simply an excuse. Now, the last thing to focus on if you want to scale your agency to $10,000 a month in a relatively short time frame, like 30 to 60 days, is you need to break the proverbial 4-minute mile in your head. You do this by getting inspired and getting your mindset right. Because look, you're not going to be able to work 14 plus hour work days. You do need a bit of downtime and a bit of time to recharge. Now, what I'm about to tell you right here, don't take that as, oh, okay, I'll just start my workday by getting inspired and this and that. No, I do not want you to become a self-help junkie here and think that you need to do 2 hours of affirmations and, watch inspiring interviews and this and that before you get started with your work. No, wake up. Go through your morning routine. It should not be some 4-hour morning routine or 3-hour morning routine. All right. So wake up, go through your morning routine, get to work and focus on outreach for 80% of your available time in a day. But then when you finish with your workday, as everyone has to do, you take a bit of time to rest and recharge rather than just watching some, crappy television shows or whatever, or watching the news or this or that. Instead, watch inspiring interviews, watch inspiring.
Nah, man, come on. I gotta watch some fun stuff, bro. I gotta binge some Netflix from time to time. No, but he's 100% spot on the recharge time. You need it, man. You need it. You need time to disconnect. And honestly, like the only way I feel recharged, like interviews don't recharge me. But like binging some Netflix, even Hermosi talks about this of like on the back half of his day, like he gets tired and then he just goes and watches Netflix. Like that's what he does in his free time. So I think you need that disconnect. I think you need the thing that is going to actually recharge you. And I think for a majority of people, and maybe for Iman, it's different. Like the interviews do recharge him. For me, like watching an interview is work. Like that's work. So I don't know. Schreiber he said not 4 or 3 hours. I'm at 2 hours morning routine. Dude, I'm at like, what's my morning routine? Wake up, gym for like an hour, shower, hour and a half. Well, it doesn't take me half an hour, but I take my time getting ready. Take the dogs out, and I'm at my desk by like 8. I don't know. Yeah, I got about 2 hour morning routine normally. About 2 hours. But it's not like anything too crazy. Like I'm not like doing cold plunges and stuff, which I do enjoy a good cold plunge, but it's not like something that I have to have to be productive,
Inspiring documentaries on Netflix, for example, The Last Dance. I'll get you so dialed in and so fired up to continue.
The Last Dance will get you dialed in, though.
And really, one that I strongly recommend is I have a couple on the main channel, but most of them on my extended channel. Watch the weekly student interviews that I do. You are literally going to see dozens and dozens of stories of how people have scaled. Some people to $6,000 a month and some people to over $150,000 a month. And as I said, that will shake that proverbial 4-minute mile in your head, and you will get inspired and realize that you are able to accomplish so much more than you would have ever thought. This is so important because the first 2 steps will tactically get you closer to your goal. But at the end of the day, you need to believe that you can do something before you achieve it. Now, one last bonus point is it always helps to have the right guidance and have someone in your corner to help you weather the storm. So right below this video, check out the updated 2021 case study that I did. At the end of that, I don't pitch anything. I don't try to get you to buy anything. All you have to do is watch it.
Time out. What's this then? Book a call with our student success manager. I get it, man. You're a marketer. I get it. I understand. No, I love Iman, dude. Iman is the GOAT. I thought it was gonna be something tactical, but it's more of like a hero video, which is cool. I liked it. I'm inspired. I'm ready to go. Let's build who wants to start 10K per month agency? Schreiber, you want to go round 2 with me? Let's go. Let's do a second one. Let's get back in it, bro. What do you say? Got me inspired. Iman's got me pumped. I'm going to go start an agency and get it to 10K. Schreiber, how long do you think it would take for us to get a new agency off the ground 10K per month? I want to know. How long do you think it'd take us? I bet we could get 10K per month in 30 days. 30 days, tops. Yeah, why not? Why not start a new agency? You pretty much need the website so your payment processor doesn't crush you. True. Yeah. Less than 60 days? I agree. I guess it depends, like, what you consider, like, when we start. Because, like, if we have, like, stand-up stuff, like website and landing pages and all of that, like, that'll take us a little bit of time. But if, like, we had all that in place, I bet we could get 10K per month in 30 days. Under 60 for sure. I agree. I think we could do it in under 60 days. Let's do it, bro. Let's make some money together. All right, crew. With that concludes our little Guru Gauntlet. You guys like this little thing I made up here? I made this in Canva. It's pretty legit, if you ask me. Freaking love Ty Lopez, the GOAT. The GOAT of taking money. All right. All right, team. That moves us into our final segment of the day, the final segment of 2023. Are you excited? Let's go. Oh, if we had AP too, Schreiber, dude, we'd be doing it in under 30 days. We scale in 2024. Let's go. Hey, man. I like Michael CEO is a different energy. He's a different vibe. I mean, he's legendary. He's legendary. I want to catch up soon. Hit me up. We'll chat with you. You're wild, bro. 100K in 100 days. Facts, dude. Facts, dude. We do it. We knock it out of the park. All right. You guys, let's do some agency alchemy. And we're going to go over to ClickUp for this. You guys down? You guys got the energy for one more? Yes, I've done. All right. Let me take you through my day real quick. Let me take you through my day. Let me do it. Let me do it. So far today, we had a little scrim action with our Hydra crew. We had a little podcast this morning with my good friend Jack. Had a pitch call, which closed it. Fucking closed it. Crushed it. A little 17.5K piffy. We love to see it. We love to see it. After that, did a little all hands on deck guest speaker slot for one of our larger agencies. And then did a podcast with my boy Nicholas Reed. It was a packed day. Now we did a little 2.5 hour agency therapy session. Dude, we did it today, fam. We did it. We're ending the year with a bang. After this, I'm done. Done. Chilling. Big vibes. But do you guys have the energy for one more segment? Well, agency alchemy. We're gonna jump into ClickUp. We're gonna tinker a little bit. Show you guys some backends of how to support more clients inside your project management. Hopefully you guys are ready. Ready for it. Adam, why is your comment still up here? Get it off. All right. Well, let's freaking jump into it then. Let me pull up a little ClickUp here. Hop in. Be good to go. Good to go. You guys, if you want a template for this, it's going to be in the description. So that's where it's at. So if you want it, that's where it's at. So don't DM me for it. It is in the description. Okay. In the description. All right. Bleep. All right. Can you guys see this? Not yet. There it is. All right. Last little bit. Client management template. You're getting blasted on this stream. Well, I mean, Colin, don't be a rookie. All right. Don't make rookie mistakes. I'm just kidding, bro. Bro, there's multiple ways to skin a cat, bro. You're crushing it. Okay, you're doing great things. Great things. Keep it up. Keep it up. We're in your corner. Okay, we're in your corner, bro. All right, client management template. Okay, this is a space view, by the way, so there's not a whole lot here currently. Apparently, there's a filter on. Why is there a filter on? All right, there we go. Okay. Now you guys, once again, on the client management side, when you guys are building ClickUp, there's so many different ways to do this, and it's all going to be so dependent on how, like, what and how your service is delivered. So don't take this as like this is the one way, the only way to set this up. There's a lot of different ways to do this, but I'm a big fan of doing this in a couple different ways. But the way I'm going to explain today is more based off of pod structure. And so, if you are servicing a lot of different clients, this like pod structure project management is a really solid way to get started with building out your ClickUp structure. Colin said, "Nah, cold plungers are fun with the boys, but they won't add 10K per month in your biz." True. True. I'll do a cold plunge with you, bro. Next time I come out to, are you in Florida? I can't remember. Where do you live? I don't even remember. But I'll do a cold plunge with you, as long as Dad comes with us too. The goat, Mr. Kastrina, bring him out. All right. But anyway, there's a lot of different ways to do ClickUp, guys. I'll show you a way that works for us and how we currently utilize it. And it kind of goes through a different hierarchy. So at the top here, the client management template, that's going to be the space. And honestly, I don't even use like the space level too much. We use the folder and list view level quite a bit, but for the most part, the space level not going to be entirely needed yet. If you guys want to like really build out all the bells and whistles inside your client management, it might be effective to utilize a space level to kind of manage everything from a high level. Because remember the hierarchy of ClickUp, guys. It's going to go space, then it's going to go folder, and then it's going to go list view. So that's kind of the hierarchy of how it works. But the space level would be best for like managing like high level across like multiple pods. So say you had each pod house like 10 clients, right? So you have a team that manages 10 clients, you have another pod that manages 10 clients, you have another pod that manages 10 clients, right? You could take it and filter and build out dashboards and reporting specifically at the space level. So you could get an oversight of like how everyone's doing, where all of your tasks are at per employee or per pod. And it is a really effective way to be able to manage things from a high level. So if you have a management team or you're managing it currently, just remember you could tinker around with a lot of the space level to build what you need. And some effective views inside of here are going to be this workload view. Really effective if you're wanting to manage time against projects. And right now I know there's not a whole lot in here, but as you get teammates plugged in here and you start tasking people, you can see what their workload capacity actually is. And it becomes really effective to be able to manage everyone's time and make sure that one, people aren't getting too much work on their plate. Make sure that the tasks get delegated accordingly, and also see like, hey, how many projects are a certain team closing out? It becomes really effective. So definitely takes a chance. That's not what I really want to cover today because like I don't really have like false data in here to populate it, but it is an effective view. Check that out at some point. I really like the workload view. We've used this for a few of our clients now that have a little bit larger teams. And as you guys scale up your agency, this workload view does become effective, and it's most effective at either the space or folder level, depending on how many pods you have. So keep that in mind as you guys are building this out. Okay. I'm just going to delete that real quick. All right, so inside of here, we have our folder level. So this would technically be pod 1. And inside of the pod, you might be able to stack some documents in here. Really great place to start housing, specific SOPs or certain client documents. And you could see all of the client docs inside of this space, which is really nice. And this is kind of just like an overview. And you can have activity inside of here so you can kind of see what people are moving around and utilizing inside of there. So any updates that are happening, you can utilize this activity view. Really effective to kind of just like manage things from a high level and see how your team is moving through the project management software. There's also a team view inside of here. So this is more directly correlated to tasks. And once again, a decent workload view as well. less on the time capacity side, more on the task assignment side. So just kind of differentiator there between the views. The team view is effective in like, hey, this is how many tasks are currently assigned to this person. This is not done, and then this is what is done. And then depending on the statuses that you guys have, it will segment based off of status as well. Okay, so that is the pod level. There's not a whole lot here. Like where this becomes more effective and more robust is going to be inside of the client roster. But hopefully that's making sense so far. I just wanted to go down the list, go space folder, and then go into the list view. All right, so on this, guys, man, there's so many different fields that you guys can put inside of here. These are the ones that we often find are best. And, for this, we always do a status column with the clients that we work with. And specifically, if you have an agency service, this just talks about green, yellow, red. Where is their status as far as results, communication? How are they feeling about our process so far? This is easily one of the fastest ways, and you can roll this up to a dashboard even, that you guys can keep track of all of your client statuses based off your team. And as you guys grow and expand, this is where it becomes way more effective, is knowing that, hey, we have a certain amount of clients in green or yellow, and then if it's red, then hey, maybe a leadership team needs to step in, get them back on track, get them back into results. A lot of this will be reflective of KPI, and how your how your team feels the engagement is going with them. So I'm a huge proponent of this, and it being the very first column inside of any project management that you guys do of managing any clients. Now, this client roster is where we do all of our activity, all of our updates for the specific client. This is where we house pretty much everything for this client, as well as far as assets go. So creative assets or like brand books, we're going to house all of this inside of the task. And I'll show you what this looks like here in just a second. Now, the data that you see on the top row here, there's so many different ways that you guys can currently do this. This is kind of recommended for us. This is, our template. So this says program. Hey, what program are they in? Are they in Hydra or Phoenix? We only have 2 offers currently that we run. But which one are they currently in? Okay, so are they a Hydra client? Are they a Phoenix client? This might be the different packages that you guys have inside of your business. So this could be your highest level package where it's the highest amount of deliverables. They have multiple services, or it could be, the lowest level service that you have, your basic minimum service, right? And so you could stack those programs inside of that way. They know what deliverables are actually inside of there, right? So, hey, which delivery package are they currently in? If you only have one, then it's probably not a column that you need currently. So, but it is good if you have differentiators in the different services that you have. So, just a little caveat there. Now, I like this column as well, date updated, of like, hey, when was the last time we had activity inside of this list or inside of this task? 9:22 a.m. I did, I think, a small edit inside of here earlier, but it will give you the last time it was updated, so you know that the team is tracking and are updating stuff inside of their client profile. And when we say client profile, I mean like, hey, this is where all of our updates go. Anytime we make a change to an account, anytime we have a meeting, all of our Fathom notes. If you guys aren't familiar with Fathom, it's very similar to what's the other meeting notes? It's like a meeting note taker, right? AI note taker that comes in, takes notes, right? We dump all of those inside of here. We put our takeaways and any action items that are needed on this as subtasks. And I'll jump in here. I'll just jump in there right now. Okay. And we can add subtasks in there, right? And add them in here if we have like certain takeaways. And here's the thing is like, there's so many cool things that you guys can do inside of here. You can even put attachments on the inside, and add new documents. And for all of our clients, we have profile documents that we utilize on a regular basis. The docs feature is really, really helpful. If you guys are using Google Drive, you can attach your, Google documents inside of here if you want those, or if you have certain presentations that you'll need, or documents from the client, whether it's like a brand book, you can attach all of those here. So they're easily accessible for your team and all in one place. Yeah. And then what we utilize is anytime we onboard a new client, we use the subtasks as the initial onboarding, and then we just kind of work them through those initial subtasks. So subtasks are really important to utilize, especially for the initial onboarding. And what you can do is you could set up templates, and I'll kind of show you how the templates work in just a second, but the subtasks become really good for onboarding, ongoing engagement of like, hey, are there certain tasks that we have to do every single month, like reporting, for example, and you could set recurring tasks for your team to follow up and make sure that those tasks are actually getting done. And then even offboarding, right? And here's things like we have statuses inside of here of like needs renewal. So you can have, once you switch it to a needs renewal status, you can have certain subtasks that populate when it goes into the status, meaning, hey, we need to get a re-sign on a contract, or we need to update their credit card or ACH authorization form, something along those lines of like, hey, these are the subtasks that are needed when it enters the status of needs renewal. Now, say a client churns out, well, you might have a different list of subtasks that you need for when a client churns out, right? So if a client churns, uh, you might have to do an offboarding questionnaire. You might do an offboarding interview, something along those lines. Like what needs to be buttoned up for them to be offboarded. I know a lot of like our direct to consumer e-commerce agencies. They will send a document of like the changes that they made to the account, any of the creatives, any assets that they need to pass back to the client that will be helpful for them in their next steps moving on from them. Okay, so you might have subtasks that you want to populate when a client churns out. But this is essentially where we document everything. For internal comms, we use this comment section for any internal comms that we have around the client, because anytime we make edits or anytime we need to communicate with our internal team, whether, hey, we need to talk to copy, we need to talk to the paid ads team, right? We use the internal comment section specifically for that. So it goes under the client profile and it's not getting lost inside of Slack or Discord or wherever you guys are doing communication, right? So that's kind of how we start to set this up. And I know it's relatively barren. Like there's not a lot of information in here currently, but as you start to work with that client more, there's more information being put inside of here. People can get caught up with, hey, where are things at with this client really quickly? And from a management level, it becomes really effective to keep the team accountable and also be able to see the status of how things are going inside of the account, and whether you're tracking data in here, which you can do inside of the columns, right? It makes it really easy to say, okay, how is X, Y, and Z client doing? Let me go inside of their profile. Let me dissect it a little bit and see kind of what the team's working on. Are they in alignment? Are they inside of KPI? What is the client status? And we can see all of that from a snapshot, which is great. That's exactly how it should be when it comes to project management. Adam said Fathom is elite. Fathom is elite. If you guys haven't checked out Fathom as your meeting note taker, it's better than any note taker that I've used so far, and I've used a decent amount of them. But it's better than Fireflies. It's better than I don't know the other ones, but it's better than all of them. Fathom is 10 out of 10. So check it out. I'm not even affiliated, but I will give them a shout out because it is a great product. I'm losing my voice a little bit. All right. So that's a little bit of the client profile. If you guys have questions as I'm going through this, feel free to ask me. ClickUp can be a little overbearing at times, just from like how much there is that you can apply to it. So if there's specific questions that you guys have on ClickUp, feel free to drop them in the comments, or it could be about another project management software as well, of like more general questions of like, hey, how would you recommend setting something like this up? I can do my best to help you guys on that side as well. Boom. All right. So that's a little bit on the client profile. Let's exit out of that for a second. Now, guys, these columns on this side, we utilize a majority of these columns currently, and you could change these columns as needed, but for mostly just contact information as well as contract dates. Now, on the contract date side, it does become really effective to put some automations in place that will allow you to get notifications when a due date is coming up. And one of my favorite automations in this is going to be sending a Slack message when the client contract is 30 days from being up to date. So say you had a due date and say today was like the last payment date, right? So you have about 30 days. So you're going to get paid. You're going to fulfill on the service for an additional 30 days. And then the contract's going to be ended. And that's the last time that you can really charge that client. So if the due date was today, I would get a notification inside of our Slack channel saying, hey, X, Y, and Z client needs to be re-signed. Oh, look at that. It went in there. And I would put an automation in place, and this automation inside of this template's already set up of when the due date hits, then it's going to move this client to needs renewal. And here's the thing is inside of your guys' process, you might have subtasks that auto populate in here of like, for needs renewal, hey, so-and-so needs to go and reach out to this client and get them re-signed. Here's the steps in our process to re-sign a client. We need to get a new contract written. We need to send it to them via DocuSign. We need to have schedule a phone call with them, all that good stuff. So you might have certain steps in your process to re-sign a client that need to be automatically activated, right? And so when this due date hits, like you guys saw it, like it automatically populated down here into needs renewal. We'll get a Slack message over into which what do you call it? Integration. There we go. I don't know. I was blanking on that. This integration isn't currently set up, so I didn't get a Slack notification because it's not specifically for this space. But if you guys wanted to set up this integration, relatively easy. And oh, by the way, the automation's in the top right here. When a due date arrives and this condition is true, which I don't even know what the condition is. Let me look real quick. Okay. And status is active, or is any of active, which counts for active, needs renewal. Oh no, just active. Okay, so when the status is active, then the status is going to change to needs renewal. Okay, so that's the one automation, relatively simple one. But on the other side of this, if you guys go into your apps, go to the apps center, I believe. Your Slack integration is right here. So if you guys want this, or I don't know if they have Discord or not. Yeah, they do. Check that out. Okay, so you can send ClickUp notifications to Discord channels too if you're utilizing Discord. Super effective. If you're not using Discord or Slack for internal comms, then I don't know what to do to help you anymore. Okay. So you can create this inside of there as well. So you just turn it on and it's good to go. So and you can send a message to a certain channel when this goes into needs renewal. So you're getting a notification here. You can also set up an automation to assign it to a specific person. When it goes into needs renewal, that automation is relatively simple. Add automation, status changes any to needs renewal. Okay. Change assignee and then put it as a new assignee. Okay. Really simple automation to set up. Let me see if there's any questions or. Can I use free ClickUp account to manage 1 or 2 clients? Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, definitely. If you're only managing a handful of clients, I mean, yeah, use a free ClickUp account to manage them and get used to what it feels like to manage someone in project management. Because as your agency scales, you're gonna have to learn this, right? You're gonna have 5 clients and then 10 clients, and all of a sudden you're not used to actively working inside of a project manager. And this is what we see a lot of times is founders will kind of do things off the cuff, or like they're kind of learning the process themselves, and so they're keeping everything outside. The sooner that you can use this and put process in place, even if you don't write the SOPs right now, but you're utilizing a project management software, you're going to start thinking around, hey, how do I integrate this into our project management software versus just how do I do this off the cuff or just with my own knowledge, right? So yeah, if you're only managing a handful of clients, start utilizing it now. You can get a free version, and as the client roster goes up and you need more automations or you need more features, then of course you'll have the room and capacity to have a paid account. I can't see pod 1 in the client management template. Is it just client roster? I can't remember how I have it set up. I can pull it up in just a second. We can look at it together. So give me 2 seconds on that. Actually, let's just do it right now. F it. F it. Client, man. Oh shoot, where'd it go? It was right there at the top. Let's see here. So there's 2 templates inside of here. Whoa, I want it to go. Okay, so it's going to start at a folder view. So I think that template's slightly different than this one, but it should have the same list view. So I think the reason that we did it that way is most people that download this template don't need a folder view or pod view. The folder view would just be for if you're launching multiple teams. So like if you had multiple pods that you were working with, then you would use that folder view. So for the time being, all you really need is the 2 list views on that, and it should work really effectively. So yeah, sorry for the confusion there. Just pay attention to the list views. Unless you have multiple teams, you build out multiple of those folders with multiple lists inside. That way you can manage things a little bit more segregated versus like having all of your clients in one area. Like this happens at scale. Like you have 50 clients and you're trying to manage all of them in one list, it becomes really difficult. Whereas, and if you have like teams dedicated to a specific folder, right? They only have visibility on that folder, but your managerial level can see the overarching through the space view of the all the folders, right? Which I know sounds really confusing and convoluted, but as you start to utilize the software a little bit more, I promise it'll make a lot more sense. But for the time being, and I think for where you're currently at, probably just utilize the list views for now, and then it could just live under space for now. And then when you expand pods, just duplicate these and put the new client roster into a one, pod 2. I like to give them fun names as well. So where can my client submit the request? Ooh, great question. I'm going to talk about that here in just a second. Fuck it. We'll talk about it right now. Okay. Client ticket submission. Okay. Right here. So on this, we've learned a lot about client ticket submissions recently, but it's just a form view. Really simple, guys. Like, don't overcomplicate this at all. Ticket submission form, you can write whatever copy you want in here. Ticket submissions will be completed 4 to 72 business hours if you want to put a little instruction there. So you might have the brand name and the submission date, right? And what's great about this is we set up a ton of automations already for you guys on this, but you can have like a priority in there, any links or files that you need to do. But we utilize the form view. When they fill out this form, so when this is all filled out, it will go over to the list view and it will populate as a task. And then you can, pre-select assignees when a new task is populated. But there are some automations inside of here that are going to make things a little bit more effective for you guys. So I have them kind of labeled inside of here. So when a task or subtask is created, then change the due date. So normally what we do is we put a time limit on the client submission. So the due date will change when it comes in. So when a task is created, it will do a 48-hour advancement in time for the due date. So our team has 48 hours to get that taken complete. And then if it goes past due, obviously, that's not the goal. We want them to do on time. So, but we have a 48-hour window to complete that task. So that's that first automation. Second automation is the status changes. When a ticket gets closed, the assignee is removed. And the reason that we do this is when the ticket gets closed, we like to push our status into a closed status and be able to see how many tickets our team completed over a month's time. So it's a 30-day rolling window. And so eventually, and the reason that we unassign people is so it doesn't show up on their dashboards. But when a status changes to the closed status, the due date will get pushed out an additional 30 days. And then eventually it will get archived, right? Which is this last one here. Due date arrives, condition is true, which is that it's going to be in the closed status. Then it's going to archive this status. And so we could see within any 30-day rolling period how many client ticket submissions we had, which is good data to know, like, hey, are client ticket submissions up? Are they down? Are people utilizing it? Right? It's really helpful on that side. So that's how we do client ticket submissions. So that's where they'll submit requests. What we normally do, I don't know if what you're doing for comm channels, but if you're doing like a Slack comm channel, if you are doing Discord comm channels with your clients, normally, I don't know about in Discord, but in Slack, you can bookmark certain links. This would be a good link to bookmark for them, is the client ticket submission form. Anytime that they have a ticket submission, or want to have a ticket submission, it's really easily findable in your Slack channel. You just click on the button, submit a ticket. Good to go. Hopefully that's helpful, brother. How do I say your name? Can you spell it out in chat? Someone help me with this. Amelaju. Amelaju? Amelaju. I'm sure I'm butchering that. I apologize, brother. I'm gonna call you OJ. Is that cool? Can I call you OJ? Is that fine? That's so easy. You said I don't have Slack yet. My client usually prefer email comms. Yeah, email's fine for now. Eventually, you're gonna want to centralize some of those comms. I got the name correct. Let's fucking go. Wins, baby. Wins. Let's go. We love that. Eventually, you will probably want to consolidate some of those comms. Email is really hard to scale as far as comms go, so you will want to have a place that you can have more direct comms with them. You can actually do it in ClickUp, believe it or not. I've yet to see someone take full advantage of ClickUp in their chat features. Maybe you should try it. Honestly, it's tempting. Just everything centralized and ClickUp one spot. You do all your chats with your clients, all your internal comms. It's kind of a one-stop shop. We're just overly integrated into Slack currently. I would love to get rid of Slack so bad. I freaking hate Slack sometimes. There's so much going on inside of it. So maybe try it. Try all of it inside of ClickUp. That'd be gangster because you can chat internally with your team. You can have external comms. It'd be fire. Fire. Play around with it. I'm about it. All right, where did we leave off? I don't remember. Ticket submissions. Okay, so that's a ticket submission. I kind of jumped the gun on client roster, but that's how we do ticket submissions. If you guys need a ticket submission system, it does become really effective for clients, especially if you're doing like creative, like getting that feedback or like having some sort of ticket submission form is good for the content side, especially on iterations and edits. And then, guys, all these fields are customizable, right? So you might have, monthly revenue in there or certain KPIs that you want to hit. Sweet, customize those. There's so many different ways to do that with like numbers or contract durations, whatever you want to put in here, man. The world is your oyster. Okay. Now, I want to point out a few things about ClickUp before we wrap it today. One is going to be the automation side. You guys, use automations. You can literally do anything. Now, the one confusing part about automations, and it always stumps people when they're setting up their initial automations, is all the custom fields that you can do. And I don't know why this took me a minute to figure out when I first started playing in ClickUp, is this custom field changes. Because a lot of times, and especially if you're coming from a different software, the fields will pre-populate in the automations tab, right? But if you have a custom one, so say like monthly revenue or monthly recurring revenue as one, you're going to notice inside of adding automations, when you come in here, there's nothing that says revenue. Okay. And so where you're going to find that is inside of the custom field changes. Okay. So you need to go to the custom fields in order to find a custom field that you set up. I don't know why that took me so long to figure out, but it did. But I'm telling you right now. Oh, that's a comment. When custom field changes. And then you can go and find all your custom fields in here. So here is our revenue once, monthly revenue, right? So if you wanted something to change of like, hey, when a custom field changes from, something or any to $100,000 and you want to celebrate a mile marker, sweet, we could set up an automation, right? So if we said 100, sorry, my Discord mute button is 0 apparently, $100,000, and we want to celebrate that monthly mile marker with them, sweet, we can add a comment, we can add someone to the task. Yeah, any of those things. Probably add a comment is what I would do. Or even create a subtask to like send a gift or something. Add a comment. New mile marker. Send gift, right? We could add that in there as an automation, which is kind of cool. And then we could tag someone even. So I'll just tag myself. And I'm going to create that automation. Okay. And it'll live here. Let's see if it works. Okay. I wonder if it's only 100K though. So maybe that won't work. Okay, to 100K. So I wonder if I do over 100K, if it'll work. Or if I wonder if it's only 100K. See if it adds a comment. Nothing yet. It's usually pretty quick on the automation side, so I think it's actually 100 flat. That'd be disappointing. Sorry. Mute button for Discord. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Yeah, so maybe that's not how it works exactly. You'll probably need something else as far as like a mile marker goes. But anyway, that's kind of the cool things about the automations. You can kind of set them up for custom. But I just want to show you guys the custom fields. So if you're looking for automations around your custom fields, know that they're in custom field changes. Okay. And that's where to find them. Delete that automation real quick. All right. Client roster. Okay, the last thing I want to show is, and I kind of already showed some of this, is going to be the applications tab. Okay, a couple different things on this side, guys, and then we will end the stream a few minutes early. App Center. Okay, if you guys are looking for integrations, okay, there's a difference between automations and integrations. Integrations are directly tied to other softwares. Okay. Some really cool stuff inside of here. I didn't know Figma's in here. That's kind of cool. But like if you want to connect Slack, Google Drive, Google Calendar, right? There's a lot of integrations that you guys can do in here. One that I really like is Harvest. So if you guys are going to do time tracking across the team, take a look at Harvest. HubSpot, keep your sales and your project management separate. Okay. Do not connect the two. Okay. It is not a good idea. Okay. So keep your CRM if you're using HubSpot separate. It's just not worth it. But if you have other softwares in here, if you're using like Microsoft, for example, it might be effective. If you're using Microsoft, you're not considered an agency owner. I'm sorry. It's illegal to do Microsoft and run an agency. Yeah. If you're using Microsoft Office, you got to change. You can't do that, man. That's illegal in the agency space. That's not allowed. But that's where you guys can find all of the applications that you can do integrations with. Now, you do have a template center inside of here as well. If you guys have templates that you like or that you utilize regularly, especially task templates, this is where you would go to find them. We have a lot of templates in here currently, 33. And then there's also a bunch of like free ClickUp templates. I don't really poke around in here because I don't like the way people do things. I like the way I do it. So I make my own templates, and we have a decent amount of templates inside of here that we utilize on a regular basis. But ones that are really effective are going to be your task templates. Okay. So anytime you guys do like a new onboarding or offboarding, those type of templates, that's going to be really effective as far as like task templates go. So play around with that a little bit. Maybe we'll do a specific training on template, like creating templates. We don't necessarily have time today, but it is really effective. As far as if you guys are setting up like offboarding tasks, onboarding tasks, things that are very repetitive and don't have a lot of change or input needed on how the specific SOP works, right? So it can take a lot of the grunt work out of setting up a task. So play around with task templates. I'm a huge fan. We don't really use space templates or folder templates from a fulfillment standpoint. Really only task templates on that side. So task templates really effective as far as fulfillment operations go. And the last one I want to show you guys is going to be the ClickUps. ClickUp's really weird, and for some reason they turn certain ClickUps off. The one that I think is relatively important at some point is going to be time estimates. Tags can be effective if you want things to be a little bit organized, especially with like SOPs. You can add specific tags to them. I'm a huge fan of the tags feature, but like a lot of these things are off, right? So time estimates, because with service-based businesses in general, especially the agency space, you're going to have time estimates and you're going to have time actuals, right? So the actual time it takes to complete a task, and then you're going to compare it to an estimate at some point in time. So really important to have in there. Time tracking is sometimes off as well when you first set up your account. So make sure that you have the right thing set up. If for some reason you're like, man, I saw Josh go through this and and he had a certain automation or he had a certain integration that I just don't see. Sometimes it's turned off in the ClickUp. So I wanted to point that out before we head out today. So and I think that's pretty much it. You guys have any questions? ClickUp is robust. It can do a lot. It can do a majority of what you need it to do. It's just setting it up, right? Because there's a lot of buttons. It takes some time. So stay with it. Huge fan of the docs feature. We don't actually use really too many dashboards yet. It's something that we're definitely going to build out here in the future, but we're gonna have some new templates launching in 2024. We're gonna launch as many of them for free as possible, so you guys can get access to those. Looking forward to the future chats. Yeah, man, let's go. Yeah, you can actually combine ClickUp and email on this too. So you can actually send emails from ClickUp, which could be an effective way to communicate with clients. And then when they email you back, you can, I think, set up an integration to like make something a specific task. So honestly, the email could work with the integrations that ClickUp has for email right now. So keep playing with it, man. Like I said, there's so many different ways that you could set this up. So what questions do we have on ClickUp? Anything additional? Anything else? A little bit longer stream today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Covered a lot of information. We had some fun at the beginning of the stream, a little marketing mayhem. Let me know if you guys enjoy that segment. I'm trying some new things because I don't want to just be like the boring ClickUp guy or the boring lead generation guy. I want to do some fun stuff, man. Let's have some fun. All right, team. I don't see any questions, but I appreciate you guys coming to the last live stream of the year. 2023 was great. Had a ton of fun. We did a ton of agency therapies. We're going to do a ton of agency therapies next year too. So keep coming back. We're going to do more content. Corey said we need to stand up the Discord channel again. So let's do that. Next live stream, I'll have a little update on that. We're going to set up a Discord channel for agency therapy again. We used to have one. It's still active technically. We didn't have the resources. We didn't have the systems in place to actually be able to manage it at a high level. So we'll bring the Discord back in the new year. Less on the it'll be more revolving around the stream in general. So of like your guys' input on the stream, what you guys want me to cover on agency therapy. So we'll bring it back next year. We'll keep it free. That way you guys can get good information. We can keep you updated on the stream, what's kind of happening inside of each of the segments for the following week. So we'll bring it back. Why not? We'll have some fun with it. And I've got more time to actually manage it this year because the team is crushing, by the way. The Hydra team, shout out Hydra team, freaking just taking the reins, crushing it. So appreciate you guys. Appreciate your time and attention on agency therapy today. We'll be back in the new year. Guys, I'm taking 2 weeks off, so we won't be back until the new year, second week in January will be our first stream back. So take a little rest, take a little relaxation. That's what I'm going to do. It was a crazy year. It was impactful. It was energy filled, and it's time to rest a little bit. So hopefully you guys are down for that. We'll be back in a few weeks. We'll keep you updated with some agency therapy. We got some fun stuff in the works for next year. I love you guys. Thank you. We'll see you next year.